Persona 3 is a very interesting game as well. It's the third game in the Shin Megami Tensei Persona series, and before you ask why am I not talking about Persona 1 or 2 before the third game, the reason for that ties back into why Persona 3 is an interesting game in this series consisting of 5, technically 6 main games, and a bunch of spin-off titles. You see, even though it's the third game of the series, it acts as a soft reboot of sorts for the series, as it mostly abandons the ways of the first two games to craft a truly unique spin on the JRPG formula. Now, I'm getting a little ahead of myself, so let's go back to the beginning. Persona 3 opens with what may be the greatest opening video in gaming history. Mementos Mori, or You Will Die, You Are Mortal, is shown to the player in this opening. Death is the main theme of Persona 3's story, and it is right away informed to the player of the game. Now, unfortunately, if you're playing Persona 3 FES, you get a way less great opening video, so I recommend searching this opening up on YouTube. Trust me though, this opening sequence helps set up the game and bring the player in. Now once you actually start the game, you'll be given the opening cutscene and be allowed to name the protagonist. Our protagonist, as you may have guessed it, is a silent one, which is pretty typical for JRPG affairs, and you know what, that's fine by me. I can enjoy a good silent protagonist, and I really like the protagonist of the game. Well, it's more toward I really like his design. I don't know, just he has really cool blue hair, and I like blue hair. So, the protagonist is silent, as you probably already guessed. Oh, and by the way, I named him Makoto Yuki as well. That was his name in the movies, so good enough for me. Following this naming convention, you meet best girl Yukari Takeba, who is a girl in the same year of school as you, and Mitsuru Kirijo, who is a year older than you and the student council president. You go to bed that night, wake up, go to school the next day, and meet Junpei Iori, who, well, I'm gonna take a moment here and say, fuck Junpei. This guy's an asshole, I hate him. I hate you, Junpei. Flash forward to 2 nights later, and you're woken by Yukari. Apparently something has happened, and you're in danger. You and her run to the rooftop and are confronted by mysterious enemies who attempt to attack and kill you, but you as the main character summon your persona to fight and kill them first. Following this, you end up hospitalized for 2 weeks due to exhaustion, and when you get back to school life, the student council president requests to see you after school to discuss what happened, and it's revealed that there is an extra hour in the day called the Dark Hour, where these monsters known as shadows come out and kill anyone who can see them. However, a few amount of people are capable of summoning a persona to combat them. You then join the CEASE, or Specialized Extracurricular Execution Club, try and say that 3 times fast, I dare you, to combat these shadows and figure out how to stop the Dark Hour and end these shadows. Now, that was a quick summary of the plot of the game, and I'm gonna get more into the story of Persona 3 in another video where I talk about the answer, but all you need to know is that Persona 3's story is fantastic and gripping from start to finish. Right now you're probably like, what the heck is a persona, and why can these kids summon them? Well, a persona is a manifestation of one's inner self and how they feel about themselves. And why can these kids summon them? Well, they can summon them because of these things they have called an invoker, which triggers the persona to be summoned. Persona are a major part of the game. Imagine them being like Pokemon in a way. You collect new persona as the game goes on, and of course some persona are stronger to other types of persona. Like, for instance, a fire persona will be strong to an ice one. Persona are your main effective way of attack. Now, you do get weapons to fight with if your SP is low, but they're nowhere near as strong as your persona attacks. Also, weapon attacks don't carry a chance for the enemy to be weak to. You see, in the Persona series, if you attack an enemy with their weakness, you can then pretty much just gang stomp the enemy, and for the most part, kill them. This is such a great mechanic in the game because it means that if you're smart about how you go about combat, you can easily be killing shadows that are way stronger than your party, which means way less grinding for you to do. However, this also works for the enemy, as if they attack you with the element you're weak to, you will be knocked down, and it means you can't attack for that round. And do I even have to explain to you why not being able to attack for a round sucks? Now, combat in Persona 3 is like most JRPGs, turn-based, which I've learned at this point in my life you either love or hate. I personally love turn-based combat, but I can understand why it's a turn-off for some, and in what may be another turn-off for some people in Persona 3, you cannot control your party at all. Now, this probably sounds like a terrible decision in the game, but I actually really like not being able to control my party. Now, hear me out, because you're not constantly deciding what each party member does in combat. It makes battles rather quick for the most part. Also, you do get commands, so for instance, if you want a party member to focus on defending, they'll defend, or if you want them to knock down enemies, they will. They will listen to your commands, which kind of makes them feel more lifelike in a way. No, like, think about it. In anything in real life, just like with other people, you don't have total control over what another person does. So, naturally in Persona 3, you don't have complete control over your party members. I know some people will be turned off by this, but I honestly really like this design choice. Oh, and yes, by the way, this was an intentional design choice by the developers, and it was made to, and you guessed it, add more realism to the game. Next up is social links, which is how this game becomes pretty much a life simulator. You see, almost every day you have the chance to hang out with another person, and doing this will help build up their social link. Now, the reason why you want to do this is because you get bonus experience to personas during fusion. This bonus experience is incredibly nice, you see, as it can take what would normally be a very weak persona and make them pretty dang strong. You also want to do the social links because, well, they're a major part of the game. A majority of character stories are told through their social links, and a vast majority of the characters in this game have great stories. My favorite social links in the game were Chihiro, Best Girl Yukari, the old couple at the bookstore, and Aegis. But I'm sure if you play the game yourself, you will have a totally different list than I do. One of my favorite things about social links is that they can get upset with you. And if they're upset with you, you can't progress forward with the social link. Now, why would a social link get upset with you? Well, it could be because you blew them off to hang out with someone else. Or if they're a female, they can get upset with you because you were spending time with another female. It's small things like that that really help the characters come to life, like they're actual living, breathing people that get upset with you or are happy by your appearance in their life. I should probably talk about the shadow encounters, and well, there's not much to say about them besides they're pretty standard battles in an RPG. You know what I mean, you fight them to grind levels, use them to collect new persona, and fight a boss incarnation of them every once in a while. A couple compliments I have to give are that 1, before you fight an enemy, they're on the overworld map, and thus, if you don't want to fight them, you can just run from them. Also, if you're a higher level than the enemy, they won't pursue you. This is such a great feature because you know what's the worst part in any RPG? It's when you go back to somewhere in the beginning of the game and are getting into random encounters with an enemy that is so weak they aren't worth fighting for the experience. Persona 3 totally negates this thanks to this design choice as well. The shadows run scared of you if you're stronger than them. It's thanks to smart design choices like that that keep Persona 3 from being a typical JRPG romp, which could easily turn off a lot of people. Thanks to smart gameplay choices like the social link system and collecting persona that help keep the player engaged in the game, it easily keeps you from getting bored in a game that's roughly 80 plus hours in your first playthrough. The next thing I should talk about is the music. Now, I don't like music much, you guys. In fact, honestly, I kind of hate music, you guys. I don't know, music has always just kind of annoyed me for some reason. So, when I say Persona 3 has one of the best soundtracks I've ever heard in a video game, it should tell you that it has some semblance of quality. Personal favorite tracks of mine include the main battle theme Mass Destruction, Burn My Dread of course, Memories of the School, and Living with Determination. The Persona series as a whole is known for incredible soundtracks, so even if you don't like the game, I feel like there's something in this game for everyone. Don't like traditional JRPG mechanics? Then do some social links and get invested in some characters. Don't like this character? Then just stop interacting with them. Don't like the persona you currently have? Then just fuse them and you don't have to deal with them anymore. Don't like the game at all? Well, then you can just listen to the soundtrack. It's a good listen. I'm gonna be honest, I consider Persona 3 to be a masterpiece, you guys. Or at least that's what I'd say if the answer didn't exist. And well, you guys join me next time, because on the next episode I will be discussing whether or not the answer keeps Persona 3 from being a masterpiece in one of the greatest video games of all time. So be sure to subscribe for more, comment, like this video, all that good stuff. And next time I will be talking about the answer.